Welcome to PowerPoint, our last chapter unit. Woohoo! You should be doing a little happy dance. We're almost done. All right, so this is what PowerPoint looks like. I've already opened up the presentation. You can see on the left-hand side that we have these little thumbnails that indicate our slides. Down in our status bar, it tells you how many thumbnails there are. So in this one, there's 6. And on the right side, it shows you the current slide that you're on, right? So if I wanted to go to slide 2, I could click on slide 2 here, and then it would show me slide 2 here. So let me back up for a second. PowerPoint is used as a presentation tool. I'm sure many of you have sat in classes where a professor has had PowerPoints where they're presenting data to you. And one of the big mistakes that people make when they're giving a presentation actually is they put far too much on a slide. Because if you put everything on the slide, what happens, right? You read the slide and then you've checked out. You're no longer listening to the professor because, basically you feel like you've read it all. You know everything he's going to say, and what's the point? So one of the best rules of thumb that I can give you, if this is a presentation that you're giving to an audience, is basically less is more. Stick by what I call the 7x7 rule, which is no more than 7 bullets and no more than 7 words per bullet. Because you want to know your topic. And if you know your topic, then you don't need the slide to kind of help you along. Just having those 7 bullets will be enough for you to expound on what you want to say. One of the best presenters out there, honestly, was Steve Jobs. He was amazing. He would get up and he would do a presentation, and he would have just like an orange, like a picture of an orange, literally just a picture. And no words at all. And people would be like, where is he going with this? And, you would be listening because you wanted to know how he was going to tie in this picture he had of the orange into what he was saying. So, granted, I don't think you should get up and just have an orange in the middle of your presentation. But my point is that just keep in mind that whole less is more. Now, they don't always follow that. You look at this presentation here and you can see it's sort of chock full of text on a screen, right? So, they don't always follow those rules. But there is a difference between the type of PowerPoint that you give to an audience and the type of PowerPoint that is given to you as information. For example, the PowerPoints that I leave out in the course content folder, you are looking at those yourselves. There's nobody giving you those messages. So, in that case, you want to have more because that's the only way that your audience is going to get information out of the slideshow. And so the one type of PowerPoint is the type that a presenter gives. The second type is one that you would read to yourself. And the third is a photo album type presentation, which is basically, I've used it for like my kids' graduations or when my parents passed away. And it's just a slideshow of just photos, which is really a nice, inexpensive gift that you could give to somebody actually. So anyway, that's really the purposes of PowerPoint. So in our case here, we have this slideshow, and the way that we see the slideshow here is we'll learn this is how we would edit the slideshow. But if we wanted to actually play the slideshow to an audience, what you would do is go up to your quick access toolbar at the top, and you see here it says start from beginning, or you can hit your F5 key on your keyboard. And this same key you'll notice is down here on the status bar for slideshow. So either method. Or you could go to slideshow on the ribbon, and you have the choice here of slideshow from beginning, which is the same as these buttons here. Or if you wanted to, you could go from whatever slide you were currently sitting on. So if we do from beginning here, okay, you'll see that it takes up the whole piece of the screen. And when you click with your mouse, you can navigate from slide to slide. You can also use your spacebar key to go slide to slide. You could use your right arrow key. What's kind of cool about that is you can also use your left arrow key to go back, right? So you can see here I'm kind of going backwards, all right? And we'll learn that there's a lot of other things that you can do when you're in the midst of your slideshow. You can actually change it to what we call presenter view. So if I were to right-click right now, you can see here that they have this option of show presenter view. And what show presenter view does is it looks like this. Your audience would still see like the big slide, but you would be able to see, we're going to learn in a few minutes how you create notes. You'd actually be able to see your notes for each slide. The audience wouldn't see this. They would only see the big slide, but you would be able to see that. And you can see here, then you can use the slide 2, slide 1. You can go back using these buttons as well. Okay. And we'll learn about additional things you can do when you're playing your slideshow. I'm going to go back to full, so I'm going to go hide presenter view. Okay. For example, if let's say I was forward a couple slides and I quickly wanted to go back to slide 1, I could actually type in a 1 on my keyboard. You can see this is kind of slow for some reason. And if I hit 1 and enter, then it would bring me to the first slide that's there. Okay, so once you get through the whole slideshow, I haven't done that yet because I keep going back, forth. When you get to the very last slide, what you'll see is you get this blank screen, end of slideshow, click to exit. And so you just simply click or hit any key, and that will bring you back out. If you were in the middle of your presentation and you wanted to stop it, you could hit the escape key located in the upper left-hand corner of your keyboard, and that would bring you out. Okay, so we talked about the speaker note in that presenter view, and I want to show you how you can do that. So if you go to slide 2, you'll notice underneath your slide pane that you have this area that says click to add notes. Now, if for some reason you don't see that, you might need to open up your notes pane. See down here on the status bar, I can click on notes and that opens and closes that pane. Okay, and you also have the ability to resize the notes section. So you see your slide gets a little bit smaller, but you have more room to see your notes. So we will click to add notes here, and I'm just going to type in check with me for graphic files. So in this case, the note is being used as a reminder. Maybe I'm sending this to somebody else and I want them to know that they have to check with me for the files that we want to use. But typically speaking, the speaker note is purely used so that you can sort of give yourself more information about what you're thinking about saying. And again, I go back to you really just want to know your topic, because you don't want to be sitting there reading your notes, because that is going to put your audience to sleep in about 2 seconds flat. So just kind of keep that in mind. All right, so that's really the beginning of PowerPoint. You'll find this tool pretty easy, pretty fun, great way to end. So other than the fact that the biggest thing I would have you look out for when you're doing grader exercises, there's a lot of typing, and grader is very, very, very picky. You have to match spelling, you have to match spacing, you have to match case. And you cannot copy and paste from your grader. That would be smart, but unfortunately you can't do that because the formatting comes in differently. You have to type it exactly as they say it. So I just tell people triple check it, including not even having a space like at the end after you type everything and you hit period. Don't put an extra space. Like it's ridiculous how picky it is, but in a way it makes sense, because in the real world, you're expected to do things exactly the way, they want you to do it. So it's good practice for that, basically. All right, I will see you in the next slideshow.